Hello everyone, my name is Metabulous. This video goes over my entire game dev story from where I started, the errors I made, and the implications I encountered. October 2017, the start of my journey. I began by following an Unreal course by Ben Tristram. It was actually a C++ game dev tutorial. After the first project, called Balls and Cows, it went on to Unreal Engine, although I disliked the interface, so I moved on to Unity. November 2017, it started with Unity official tutorials. I made myself a rollerball game. After this, I took a long break from game dev. Instead of game dev, I streamed gameplay of Fortnite and I grew a considerable audience. I also made some cool friends like Louie. October 2018, after my boredom for Fortnite began, I started moving away from it, although I never stopped playing. This is the proper beginning of my journey. I went to my first game called Light vs Dark. It was a game I was very proud of, and I made it in 2 weeks. It was about dodging lights that came from the sky. It also marked the first sound design I ever did. Then, I released the game to the public on itch.io. I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that praised what I did. This is probably my primary motivation. Finally, I became interested in a YouTuber known as BlackthornProd. I also started pledging $1 a month to him on Patreon. December 2018. On the lead up to Christmas, I worked on Christmas delivery. I streamed the whole development process and it was definitely beneficial. The game dev community was so kind that I gained immense feedback and even saw my Twitch hugely benefit from it, with average viewership being around 8 viewers in comparison to the previous 3. January 2019. This was by far my favourite months. I used 2 weeks of my time to work on Skyrunner with the help of BlackthornProd's Dungeon Generator video. On top of that, I released my first devlog for a bigger project I'd been working on behind the scenes, Dungeon. To end off the month, I spoke with the legend himself, BlackthornProd, in the first episode of my podcast, Indie Dev Chat. Luckily, this month, my addiction to Fortnite began to fade. Focus on game dev could increase. February 2019. Devlogs continued at a fairly consistent rate, and Dungeon development exceeded expectations. I also took a slight break to work on Planetarium, which was my first official Game Jam submission for the BTP Game Jam No. 2. Meanwhile, I made a friend named Mystic MM. We were supporting each other with the Game Jam, and when it came to the results, I was astonished. I came 79th out of 300th place, and Mystic came 2nd. He was also fairly shocked. March 2019. Devlogs were doing the best they'd ever done, and I was super pleased with the result. Also, Dungeon was changed to Hidden in Darkness. On top of that, I made another new friend called PowerBurger. He's one of the best people I've met in the community. He's super talented. Make sure to go download the demo for a project he's been working on. Link in description. April 2019. This was probably the worst month for my journey. I absolutely hated it to begin with. Most of my files on my PC were corrupted, including Hidden in Darkness, and to rub it in, this happened on April 1st. BlackthornProd released a video called Bad News. It basically summarized what had happened to me. My friends didn't believe me because I told them just after the release of that video. Luckily, as they are so kind, they realized my predicament. It wasn't all bad. Me and PowerBurger started work on Grapple Story. It was the first time I thoroughly enjoyed a project. I could sense it being amazing. Although, later on, PowerBurger gave me full control over Grapple Story so he could go work on his project. This was positive as well. I was going for a bigger project, yet PowerBurger just wanted a small project. On the plus side, BlackthornProd gave me feedback regarding Grapple Story, telling me to keep it in scope. This was a huge motivation boost. As well as that, I was able to speak with Suspicious Ducks, a couple of developers who have been supporting me for a while. May 2019. This month was pretty crazy, and it was also where game dev had to be put on hold. My final exams, or GCSEs, were coming up, and I had to study like mad. I poured hours and hours into learning all of the science curriculum. Even then, I was barely prepared. It wasn't too bad though, as I was able to speak with Yahub, a small developer with a cool idea. I also got to speak with the developer behind What the Golf, Rue Drusen, part of the Triband team. June 2019. It started off really well. Exams were easing up, and a guy named Spitzy contacted me, giving me ideas for how to improve my YouTube channel. I followed a lot of his feedback, and it ended up going really well, seeing as I got to 100 subscribers. Thanks for that, guys. We grew by around 35 subs in June alone. I also got the opportunity to speak with the awesome developer DevDuck. He's currently developing Blink, an awesome mobile game. By mid-June, I was exam-free and I was in a very motivated mood, which ended up in me doing devlogs again. Finally, I got some crucial feedback from Saiku, who was also a huge inspiration for me. July 2019. This month began by me and my family going on holiday to a Greek island called Zante. It was super nice there and very refreshing. Sadly, my motivation to work on Grapple Story was fairly limited, so not much progress was made. Also, I spoke with the amazing developer Danny, who was featured in an indie dev chat. August 2019. This started really well. I got into a relationship with Lou, and I was super happy. However, this was also a bad month for me. Grapple Story failed due to backups yet again. This time, it was because the backups merged with each other. See a devlog if you're interested in knowing what happened. After Grapple Story ended, I began work with my team on a game. It was time to actually make something. At least this time, backups wouldn't ruin the project, because we would have at least 3 local copies. Also, I tried to make a game in 20 minutes, which was fun but fairly stressful. On the 24th, the team and I worked on a game for the Community Game Jam, a competition where you had a week to make a game. See the devlog if you're interested in the creation process. Penultimately, I got to speak with Jonas Tyrola in an indie dev chat episode. Finally, Blackthorn Prod contacted me asking me to play test his game. Of course I said yes. I promised that there were no tears of joy. September 2019. That leads us to now. We're starting off strong and I'm proud of where I'm at. It's been an amazing journey for the last 2 years, and soon I'll start college where I'll be taking a game design course. I might learn stuff that I already know, but I might also reinforce some of my knowledge. In the future, I'm hoping to make significant progress with my team on our new project. Soon, I'll have a devlog out. I'm also hoping to speak with some more cool developers like Tim Ruswick or Saiku. Finally, I want to take more breaks from the main project to work on more games to keep you guys occupied. My game dev journey has been fairly smooth. Actually, I've been fairly lucky with the amount of connections I've made. It's just from advertising over on my Twitter and YouTube and occasionally Reddit. There have been some complications, but I'm lucky to have made such good friends. I want to thank all of you guys for your insane support throughout my journey. It has been a blast. I also want to thank my Twitter followers, as I probably wouldn't be where I am without you. Especially these people: Taku, Tommy, Alex, USMC Sky, Red Event Games, Delphine, Aries of Kara, and Andre. Here are the people I've mentioned throughout this video. You can find links in the description. Ben Tristram, Udemy course, the Unity team, Louis, Blackthorn Prod, Mystic MM, Rod, PowerBurger, Suspicious Ducks, Yahub, Triband, DevDuck, Saiku, Danny, Spitzy, Jonas Tyrola, Lou, and Tim Ruswick.